Loyalty over popularity. That's a code, not a slogan. It's the difference between being known and being respected. See, everybody want to be seen, but not everybody want to be solid. A lot of people chasing attention like it's oxygen, forgetting that fame don't equal foundation. You can have a million eyes on you, but if none of them truly got your back, you still stand alone. Real ones understand popularity, fade, but loyalty lasts forever. The moment you start moving with intention, you stop needing validation. You stop caring who claps and who watches. You start asking who's still here when the noise stops. Because when life tests you, and it will test you, the crowd disappears. The fake love melts when the lights go out. That's when you see who really ride with you. I've seen people build their identity around who knows their name instead of what they stand for. But when you choose loyalty, you ain't moving for the applause. You moving for the cause. You stand on something real. It's easy to be popular when everything look good, when the money flowing, when the image shining. But who stays loyal when it's ugly? Who stays down when you got nothing to offer but your truth? Popularity can put you in rooms, but loyalty builds your empire. It's your foundation, your roots. When you got loyal people around you, even if it's just one or two, you unstoppable. Because loyalty ain't just about sticking around, it's about standing with you even when the world stand against you. It's about telling you the truth when lies will be easier. It's about protecting your name when you ain't in the room. Everybody love to say day ones, but most forget the meaning. A real one don't switch sides just because the weather changed. A real one see your flaws, your mistakes, your down moments, and still choose to ride with you. Because loyalty ain't building comfort, it's building struggle. It's tested in those quiet seasons when you're fighting battles nobody see. You don't need a crowd, you need a core. You don't need everyone to love you, you need the right few to understand you. The world got people who smile in your face, then envy your progress in private. But you can't hate them, you just gotta separate, protect your energy, protect your circle. Not everybody clapping for you is happy for you. When you start valuing loyalty, your life, get life, your life, your life. You stop forcing connections. You start explaining your vision to people who only see the surface. You realize that peace is worth more than popularity. That being real with yourself matter more than being liked by others. Because every time you chase validation, you hand over your power. But when you stand on loyalty, your own code, your own truth, you move different. You walk with peace even if you walk alone. I've learned that loyalty don't shout, it shows. It's not loud, it's consistent. It's in the quiet ways someone got your back when you ain't around. It's in how they show up when you call or they hold you down when the world don't. That kind of energy can't be bought. It's rare, it's sacred. And yeah, sometimes being loyal means losing people. It means walking away from what looks good but don't feel right. It means keeping your integrity even when it costs you friends, money, or fame. But that's the price of peace. You might lose a crowd, but you gain your self-respect, and that's priceless. Popularity is like smoke. It look big, but it disappear quick. Loyalty is like fire, steady, real, and it keep you warm through the cold. So when you move through this life, don't chase who's watching. Build with who's walking with you. The ones who believe in your vision even when it's still just a blueprint. The ones who stay when there's no spotlight. At the end of the day, it's not about how many people know your name. It's about how many can say you never change. Because popularity might open doors, but loyalty keep them open. Popularity might get you followers, but loyalty gets you family. And when it's all said and done, when the camera's off, when the crowd gone, when it's just you and your thoughts, you'll realize it was never about being liked. It was about being real. Because real don't fade, real don't fold. So yeah, loyalty over popularity every time. Because the crowd gonna cheer for whoever's winning. But the loyal ones, they're gonna stay when you're rebuilding. Isolation brings elevation. That's the truth most people don't want to face. Everybody want to glow, but nobody want to grow alone. See, the process of becoming somebody different, somebody greater, it's lonely. It's uncomfortable. When you start moving different, people think you acting different. But what they don't understand is you just start hearing a higher frequency. You start wanting more for yourself. There comes a point where you got to step back from the noise. You got to unplug from people who keep you small, from environments that feed your comfort but starve your potential. That's isolation, not because you hate the world, but because you're trying to find your place in it. Growth don't happen when you're surrounded by distractions. Growth happens when you sit with your thoughts, your pain, your purpose, and you decide who you really are. Most people run from silence Because silence exposes truth. When you're alone, there's no one to blame, no mask to wear, no noise to drown the voice inside you. That voice be telling you the real, what you need to fix, what you need to leave, what you've been avoiding. Isolation don't feel good, but it's where transformation starts. It's the lab where greatness gets built in private before it's revealed in public. When you start elevating, not everybody can come with you. The higher you go, the thinner the air gets. Not everybody can breathe up there. That's why your circle gets smaller, why your phone get quieter, why your energy feel heavier sometimes. You ain't losing people, you losing their weight. You start realizing who was attached to your growth and who was just attached to your comfort. And that realization hurt, but it's necessary. People think isolation means loneliness. Nah, loneliness is when you crave company. Isolation is when you embrace clarity. It's when you use that solitude to build. You start sharpening your mind, strengthening your discipline, building your faith. You start understanding that not everybody deserves access to your peace. Not every conversation deserves your response. Not every invite deserves your time. In isolation, you learn how to move without applause. You learn how to trust your own voice. You learn that purpose don't need validation. That's where your real power comes from, when you stop depending on people to believe in you and you start believing in yourself. Every legend, every visionary, every hustler that ever made an impact had to walk that road alone for a while. They had to sit in that quiet and listen to their soul. Elevation demands sacrifice. You can't reach new levels holding on to old habits. You can't walk into your future carrying everyone from your past. Some people are lessons, not lifetimes. Some chapters gotta close so new ones can open, and the only way to hear that call is in stillness. When you isolate and look within, that's where alignment happens. That's where you find what really matters. The truth is, solitude is strength. It's where you build mental muscles. It's where you stop running from pain and start learning from it. You start realizing that the obstacles weren't there to break you, they were there to build you. When you isolated, you start understanding patterns, seeing where you went wrong, where you gave too much, where you doubted yourself. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You gotta move different. And then, yeah, it gets heavy. Some nights you question why you even started. Some days it feel like nobody understands. But that's the test to keep building even when nobody watching. Because the reward don't come from the crowd, it comes from the climb. You ain't supposed to be understood by everybody. You're supposed to be set apart. When you elevate, your mindset change. You stop chasing attention, you start chasing alignment. You stop needing people to feel you. You start learning to feel yourself. You start moving with patience, with purpose, with peace. And when you step back into the world after that isolation, you different. Your energy louder, your presence heavier, your vision clearer. That's what elevation really means. You became somebody your old self couldn't even imagine. You built that version in silence, brick by brick, prayer by prayer, night after night. The world only sees the result, but you know what it costs. You know the lonely nights, the quiet mornings, the self-doubt that tried to break you, and yet you rose. So if you find yourself alone right now, don't fight it. Don't rush back to the noise. Sit with it. Use it. Let it mold you. Your isolation ain't rejection, it's preparation. You're not being left behind, you're being lifted higher. Isolation brings elevation, always. Because before you shine in public, you got to be forged in private. Before you lead others, you got to conquer yourself. So embrace that season. That's where the real power is born. Energy costs value. And that's the truth most people overlook. You only get so much energy in a day, and what you give it to determines what kind of life you live. Every thought, every move, every conversation, it's an exchange. So if you're constantly giving your energy to chaos, to drama, to people who don't pour back into you, you're spending your most valuable currency on nothing. See, time you can't get back, but energy, that's even deeper, because you can have time and still not have the strength to move. You can wake up with 24 hours and waste them all because your spirit tired, your mind cluttered, your peace disturbed. That's why you got to be intentional about where your energy flows. Not everybody deserves access to it. Not every situation deserves your reaction. Sometimes silence protects you more than any response ever could. You got to start treating your energy like it's gold. Protect it, guard it, invest it wisely. You ever notice how after being around certain people, you feel drained, like they took something from you? That's real. Energy don't lie. Some people feed your fire, some people drain your battery. The more you elevate, the more sensitive you become to it. You start seeing who really brings peace and who brings problems. You can't afford to be available to everybody. You can't heal If you keep exposing yourself to what hurts you, protecting your energy don't mean you cold. It means you aware. You start moving with intention instead of impulse. You start realizing that peace ain't something you find. It's something you build. And you can't build peace while entertaining chaos. When you value your energy, you stop explaining yourself to people who don't listen. You stop arguing with folks who already decided not to understand you. You stop trying to convince the world of your worth. You let your results talk, your consistency speak, your discipline shine. That's how real ones move. Quiet, focused, locked in. Because they know every bit of energy wasted on nonsense is energy stolen from purpose. You start realizing that energy is currency, and every day you spending it somewhere. Scrolling through negativity, gossiping, doubting yourself, that's all a transaction. You're paying for it with your peace, and the price too high. You got to start making better investments. Pour into your goals, your mindset, your body, your spirit. Surround yourself with people who bring you light, not weight. A lot of folks don't understand boundaries, but boundaries are how you protect your energy. It's not about hating nobody. It's about loving yourself enough to not be drained. You can wish people well and still walk away. You can forgive and still distance yourself. You can care and still choose peace. That's growth, that's maturity. The truth is, every season of your life demands a different version of you. And that version requires new energy. You can't step into your next chapter carrying old vibes, old habits, old company. That's why sometimes life forces you to disconnect. You start feeling tired, restless, uninspired. That's your spirit telling you it's time to recharge. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't create from chaos. You got to refill, reset, and realign. And that's when you start moving different. You stop chasing what drains you. You start protecting your focus like it's sacred, because it is. You start saying no without guilt. Start disappearing from environments that don't feed your soul. And some people won't understand that. They'll say you changed, but that's okay. Growth always look like distance to those who stay the same. Energy got power. What you give attention to grows. So if you constantly focusing on pain, fear, hate, that's all you'll see. But if you direct that same energy into discipline, vision, purpose, your whole life shift. You start attracting better because you operate from better. That's the difference between existing and living, between being busy and being productive. You can't move like you got unlimited energy. You gotta be selective. The world full of distractions, social media, opinions, fake love, all trying to pull your focus. But when you learn to protect your energy, you take your power back. You stop letting outside noise control your inside peace. You start reacting and start responding. You move smarter. You move quieter. You move stronger. So remember, energy costs value. Don't spend yours cheap. Don't waste it trying to prove something to people who wouldn't care if you fail. Don't give it to negativity that don't pay you back. Use it to build. Use it to create. Use it to grow. Because when you truly value your energy, everything changes. Your habits, your circle, your focus, your peace. You realize not everyone deserves a seat at your table. And that's okay. The goal ain't to please everybody. It's to protect your spirit. Energy costs value, so spend it where it multiplies, not where it drains. Growth creates distance. That's just how the game goes. You can't rise and still stay in the same place. When you start changing, when you start working on yourself, not everybody gonna understand it. They love the version of you that was comfortable, that was predictable, that was easy to reach. But once you start growing, you become harder to access, not because you're better than anyone, because you're moving different. See, growth don't just change your habits. It changes your energy. The things you used to tolerate start feeling heavy. The conversations you used to enjoy start feeling pointless. The people you used to vibe with, they start feeling distant. And it's not about hate, it's about alignment. When your mind elevate, your environment gotta match. You can't talk vision with people who only see limits. You can't discuss purpose with people still living for attention. Most people want growth without loss, but they don't realize you can't climb higher while holding on to everything below. Every level demands a new version of you, and that version requires sacrifice. Sometimes it's friendships, sometimes it's habits, sometimes it's comfort. But that's the price of elevation. You can't take everybody with you, and that's one of the hardest lessons to learn. You'll notice it first in conversation. You start talking about ideas, they still talking about people. You start thinking long term, they still living for the weekend. You start chasing discipline, they still chasing distractions. It ain't arrogance, it's awareness. You just start realizing how small certain things feel when your vision gets bigger. And when that happens, distance naturally grows. But here's the truth. That distance ain't rejection, is redirection. Life separates you from what can't go where you're going. The universe clears your path before it blesses your steps. The same people who used to motivate you might start draining you. The same places that once inspired you might start slowing you down. And that's when you got to make a choice: stay familiar or step forward. Growth feels lonely sometimes, but that loneliness is sacred. It's in that space where you build new discipline, new peace, new focus. You start learning who you are when the noise fades. You stop needing validation, stop explaining yourself, stop chasing what don't align. You learn to enjoy your own company, to trust your own timing. That's where strength get built in the quiet. The people who really love you, they'll respect your distance. They'll understand that your silence ain't shade, it's self-work. But the ones who only loved your comfort, they'll call it change. They'll say you act different now. And they're right, you do. Growth is supposed to make you different. You ain't supposed to stay the same when you learn better, when you want better, when you become better. You can't grow in environments that feed your weakness. You got to move around people who challenge you, who make you think, who make you uncomfortable in a good way. Growth don't come from comfort, it come from pressure, from elevation, from separation. Every flower grows by breaking through dirt first. That's the process. That's the pain before the progress. And yeah, it hurts losing people you thought would be there forever. It hurts seeing the distance between what was and what is, but one day you look back and realize it had to happen. If you stayed where they were, you'd never become who you are now. You outgrew that version of life. And that's not betrayal, that's evolution. The real ones gonna meet you again on new levels. They'll do their own growing, their own building, their own soul work. And when you cross paths again, it'll be from a place of mutual respect, not resentment. That's the beauty of growth. It don't always destroy connections. Sometimes it purifies them. It separates the temporary from the timeless. So don't feel guilty for the distance. Don't apologize for choosing peace, focus, or purpose. You ain't acting brand new, you just became aware. You stopped playing small to make others comfortable. You stopped shrinking your dreams to fit spaces you outgrew. And that's something to be proud of. Growth gonna cost you people, places, and patterns, but it'll reward you with clarity, purpose, and peace. That's the trade. That's the evolution. Everybody wants to glow, but not everybody wants the grind that comes before it. You gotta let go to grow. You gotta release to rise. So when the distance comes, don't fight it. Don't chase what's drifting away. Let it. What's meant for you gonna meet you at your new level. Keep building, keep focusing, keep elevating. The ones who truly belong in your story, they'll find their way back. Growth creates distance, but it also creates destiny. Purpose don't need a crowd. That's something you learn once you stop searching for approval and start listening to your soul. See, when you got a real purpose, you stop expecting people to understand your moves. You realize they're not supposed to. You see things they don't see yet. You feel things they can't feel. And when you start building on that frequency, most people gonna think you crazy before they ever call you genius. Purpose don't move with applause. It don't need validation. It don't care about numbers, likes, or followers. Purpose moves in silence, in struggle, in focus. It grows in the dark while everybody else busy performing for attention. The truth is, most people ain't built to chase purpose. They built to chase comfort. But purpose don't live in comfort. It lives in sacrifice. It lives in risk. It lives in those moments when you question if it's even worth it and you still keep going. When you live with purpose, you start learning how to be okay with being misunderstood, because people gonna talk regardless. One day they'll call you lost. The next day they'll call you legendary, but you can't move for opinions. You gotta move for vision. You gotta trust what's inside you even when the world can't see it yet. That's what separates dreamers from doers. The crowd chase trends. The chosen chase truth. Purpose don't need noise, it just needs faith. You can be in a room full of people and still feel alone. If your purpose bigger than the conversations you having, you can outgrow the environment that once felt right. And that's okay. You weren't born to fit in, you were born to build. Every step of your grind, every late night, every quiet morning when you doubt yourself but still show up, that's purpose. It don't announce itself, it just works. Most people want recognition before they put in the work. But purpose don't pay you in claps, it pays you in peace. It's that deep satisfaction you feel when you know you staying true to what you were called to do, even when nobody say good job, even when nobody notices. That's when you know it's real, when the mission matter more than the attention. There's power in moving without the crowd, because when you stand alone, you can hear your own voice. You can listen to your intuition without all the static. You can focus on what's real instead of what's popular. The crowd changes every season. One minute they love you, the next they forget you. But purpose don't change. It stays solid through every storm. You got to understand, purpose ain't about fame, it's about impact. You could change one life and still fulfill your calling. You can inspire one person, and that ripple can move the world. Don't ever think your purpose too small just cause it ain't loud. Every movement start quiet. Every revolution start with one person who refused to wait for permission. You'll lose people when you follow purpose. They'll think you distant, they'll say you switched up. But you didn't switch, you evolved. You stopped entertaining small talk, stopped investing in what don't grow you, stopped letting noise distract your grind. And in that distance, that's the space where purpose breathes. That's where you build in silence while the crowd watch from the sidelines. Purpose don't ask for company, but it does demand commitment. It's the reason you wake up when you're tired, the reason you keep going when it don't make sense, the reason you believe when nobody else does. You start realizing you don't need a crowd to validate you. You just need consistency to elevate you. That's the real power. The crowd look for comfort, purpose, look for meaning. The crowd follow trends. Purpose builds legacy. The crowd cheers when you win. Purpose builds you when you lose. That's the difference. You can't chase both. You either want to be seen or you want to be remembered. And when you finally reach that moment when your works speak louder than your words, when your actions echo louder than your name, you'll look back and realize that solitude was worth it. All those nights you felt unseen, all those moments you questioned yourself, that was preparation. That was purpose molding you into something unbreakable. So don't wait for people to clap. Don't wait for the world to understand your grind. Keep moving like it's already done. Keep building like it's already yours. Purpose don't need a crowd. It just needs you to show up, stay real, and never quit. The right people gonna find you when it's time. The world gonna catch up when it's meant to. But until then, walk your path with quiet confidence. Let the work speak. Let the vision grow. Let the mission guide you. Because purpose don't chase attention. It creates change. And real change always starts with one person willing to walk alone.